Hi everyone, it's Becca with the Red Roof Flower Farm. And I thought that since the cold is here tomorrow, that I do a little video, a little farm tour showing you what the farm looks like this time of year. And it's also Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, so I still have flowers. I haven't really been selling, but my plan was to just kind of hold on to these flowers in the field until this weekend, and then there's infinite demand, so I can just harvest all day and make bouquets tomorrow and sell a bunch as my farewell to the season. But right now the farm is got a fair amount of flowers in it, so I thought I would show it off here. This is one of my zinnia patches. So you can see there's lots of stuff here, lots and lots and lots. Some Rudbeckia over there. I think I'm just gonna get my weed trimmer and go after all my status, just just obliterate them, since today's the last day, and harvest a bunch really quick. Look at this, look how beautiful that is. Some of them are feeling the effects, right? But there's still lots that are sellable. It is still looking pretty good here, and I got lots of things like amaranth to go along with it. Ooh, look at these. I want to grow more of these next year. These are like the lime Bennery's Giant. And here's another favorite color. I only put a few of them in. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's one of the Bennery Giant varieties that was just kind of randomly in a manila envelope. Yeah, so looks pretty good over here where the flowers are. There's another kind of side to the farm here too that I'll show you. It's got lots of zinnias. It's got some potatoes that I gotta pull. So, other news about the farm. I've kind of been focusing more on getting ready for next season, which is really motivating and exciting. I am really excited about next year. I know this year, wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, but I'm okay with that. Okay, let's see. This is the other patch of zinnias. Next year, going into the fall, I want to have 10 beds of zinnias going. Okay, let's go around here. Yeah, going into the fall this year with 4 beds of zinnias, I found it was just not quite enough to keep up with a strong harvest. Because, when the weather starts to get cool, they really slow down. Oh, I'm excited to crop out my amaranth today, because look how good this looks. Oh, these ones are so, these ones are so fun. Such a good color, it goes with so many different things. And then these brown ones, they're a little better when they're fresher, when they're this lighter color. They get darker as the season goes on, but they're still really useful. I really liked these Oklahoma series zinnias this year, and next year I want to grow them in more colors. But also, we got lots of this today. That's exciting. Yeah, so that's kind of the bulk of the flowers. There's also a ton of marigolds, and there's a lot of status. There's a few delphiniums. They've slowed down a bunch. And there's a bunch of grasses to add to the mix as well. And I can probably find some anise hyssop, but I don't really want to go around the farm and look for all that kind of stuff. I want to show you some of the other stuff that I've been working on here on the farm. So we're going to take a little stroll. Here, I'll flip the camera around. These are my marigolds. Still basically invincible. You can't harvest them fast enough. They're definitely wasting away a little bit. So every time you harvest a stem, you have to do a little bit of trimming on it. But then after that, what I want to do is I want to fence off this whole area for a secondary chicken run. And then this is where all my annuals are going to be next year, so that it's nice and close to my outbuilding for going back and forth. So I still have these anise hyssop, and then That's bee balm kind of back there. So those are perennials that I will have to move, but I'm not super worried about the chickens kind of going at them because there's a lot of plants there. So yeah, kind of up to here. My plan is fence all of this area off and then just leave the chickens in there until it gets like cold, because like their coop up here is insulated. So as long as it's kind of like the nice fall temperatures, then they can kind of like live in there. But I haven't done it yet. Right now they're free ranging. They're up there. They're hiding out by their coop right now, but they kind of wander around the farm. Usually stay close to their coop though. So other news, this year we did about 500 pounds of food for the food bank, which is exciting. It was mostly like the summer veggies, tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, zucchinis, cucumbers. That was the bulk of it. There's like some carrots in there as well. You know, there's like supermarkets and stuff that donate like way more food, but like who doesn't love some like delicious, fresh, ripe from the vine cherry tomatoes to kind of like be the special treat? But I have to go in here and crop things out a little bit. You can see there are some green tomatoes still. Some of them have a little bit of color. So I'll take all that out and I'll just put it in a sunny spot in my house. I think that the cherry tomatoes are kind of done. There's a few orangish ones there, but not really worth the effort. They were my snack all summer though, so they were appreciated. Okay, so I've been working on getting my greenhouses set up. So this area kind of got destroyed by a windstorm the other day, but it took a lot of work to get this all flattened out. It's all nice and level now, and I'll get the black plastic back in line pretty quick after this weekend. So the idea is there's a greenhouse and then there's a very wide path. I want really wide path between the greenhouse because like the snow, to deal with the snow in the winter, sometimes you need a lot of space. And then, you know, another greenhouse here. You can kind of see it at the back side there of this space. And then this is my turnaround spot. You can see the remnants of some tulip raised beds that I've taken apart. And then that's like the remainder of my compost pile. But I want this to be a space for my truck to get backed into to turn around. And then there's this greenhouse. And above it, I am getting ready for the next one. There was a bunch of raised beds here as well for the tulips. So these are all gone. And this greenhouse, because again, there'll be a big space between them, it's probably going to go to like right about here with the gap in between them. And then there'll be another gap. And then all of this is perennials right now, but this is the area that I want to move down to the bottom of the farm. So like my phlox and my goldenrod, you know, stuff like that. Get that all moved down to the bottom of the farm over the course of next year. I'm not going to try to get this greenhouse spot set up this year. This can be a next year job. But then I'll have 5 greenhouses in a row. And there's this fence here that like served a purpose at one point in time, just to like have like separation for the kids, to have a yard and a farm. And we were supposed to like grow all these like vining things on it, but I never really got around to it. So I think it's just like a big division in the yard that I'm not really a fan of anymore. So I'm going to take this fence down. I'm not going to take it down like around the parking lot. The parking lot part of the fence can stay, but like from here all the way to the end there, I'll just take that all down. And then there's like a little retaining wall here to make this like fire pit a little flatter. But there used to be like the previous owners, this was like a spot where they had an above ground pool, so they needed like the flat spot. So I think I'm going to take the retaining wall down, and then I'm going to like slope the dirt So you can see I've done some like tree trimming here. Not sure if you can tell, but like the walnut tree, I took out a bunch of the branches that were kind of like going off. I want it to be like a tall tree if it stays. I'm not completely, you know, it's kind of like old and it's dying off, and I'm like, maybe I should just use the space for the farm. But I had to take out the maple tree because it got hit with the windstorm this year, and then I was going to try to save it, but there was another branch that was leaning over the parking lot and the parking lot fence that looked like it was like on its way out. So I was like, I don't want any like liability for a big tree limb to be hanging over my parking lot. So I was like, I took that out, and then I was like, now the tree just looks ridiculous. So I just took the whole tree out. And what the idea is that I want to have like kind of like little cart paths for my golf cart, because next year I'm going to get like a gas powered golf cart. I think that's the way to go, and that will have like the ability for me to use it at all times, right? Like it'll never run out of power. I'll never have to charge it. So I want to have a path that goes like from here and then like all the way up to here, and then I can park, you know, either in the carport, or I can build a little shelter like right here, and then I can run up to the stand, or I can get turned around of the hazelnut, and then I can come back down, and then I can also get over here to this area. And the amount of like wear and tear on my body that it felt like when I had like the golf cart going really well was like so much reduced. Like it just felt like the farm was like way more doable. So my idea is to build access to the golf cart to all the different work areas, right? So I'm just like trying to envision like kind of like a path everywhere, so that I can get anywhere on the farm to harvest. I can do it all by the golf cart. I don't have to like, you know, because before when I got to this fence, I would like leave the cart at the fence, and then I'd like walk over there and harvest a bunch of stuff and then like bring it over. It's things like that that just kind of slow you down and take away your energy over time. So I'm pretty excited about like that, and just like really looking at the features of the farm and being like, what makes sense for me to keep, and like what should I get rid of? Like what can I do better with the space? Because it is 2.5 acres, but like it's starting to fill up. Now this space here, because a lot of that stuff that was kind of under the maple tree was like shade tree stuff. So what I would like to do is over here on the side of the outbuilding. Hi chickens. Hi. How are you doing? You happy? Okay, so kind of like right here along the outbuilding, I want to put down shade cloth. Pardon me. I want to put down landscape fabric all through this space. And then this is going to be like my area for like the hellebores. I'll move some hellebores, and I'll like probably buy some more hellebores because they are cool. And then they can just like grow along here. And if you see like right here, the sun basically like at this time of year goes right to the edge of my property line where this fence starts. But I'm like, you know, if there was like a tree right here, it would be in the sun. So I'm thinking about planting a bunch of fruit trees along this fence line. Maybe nectarines, because, you know, nectarines are so good. They're like peaches without the fuzz. And there's a bunch, they're like a little bit more hardy than peaches, because I don't want to be like spraying and stuff, right? So that's what I'm thinking about here. I think that could be like a really cool use of that space. And then let's see, what else do we got? I am trying to reorganize my storage area here with like shipping containers. So it is kind of a bit of a mess, but I used to have a big compost pile here, and over the course of like 2 days, I took like 25 truckloads of it up and I put it in the chicken run. And that gives me more space to like work with here, because there's a lot of stuff in here that I have to go through. You know, like these shipping containers, they're pretty filled all the way to the back with mess. But just because there's a lot of stuff in here doesn't mean there's a lot of useful stuff. So I want to go through and be brutal this fall and maybe reclaim a whole entire shipping container for more useful storage. Like if I had a place where I could just toss all my big like tarps and there was like nothing else in that space, so that it was like easy to like get them in there and out, that would make me so happy. And I also want to clear up this space because I do have like lots of metal to build another greenhouse. And so what I was thinking I might do is build like a greenhouse here that's like one of those ones where like the north side is like an insulated wall. Because I could totally do that here. You can see on the top of the shipping container, there's like all kinds of metal from a greenhouse that's kind of like half hoop, or like, yeah, like a half hoop thing. And they're really quite big. So I could build just like a wall, and then I could use all those like metal to kind of like line up against it, and then, you know, secure it with brackets into the wall. I think it would be really cool to have a greenhouse like that. And then grow veggies in here, and who knows what else. You know, maybe I try to insulate it a bunch, and then it's like more, I'm able to grow stuff like those like lime trees and stuff that are pretty hardy. So I'm definitely like trying to get moving on like getting the areas prepped for next year. I really want those like 4 greenhouses to be in a state by the end of the season that they're basically just need their plastic in the spring. Because like I don't want to put the plastic on for the winter time, because like it just like takes damage over the winter with like the snow load and stuff. But that will be better, because like before, when I made the greenhouses, I had it's like if you put the like structure kind of like along the top in the middle, then everything kind of like slopes off and the snow kind of like sloughs off to the side. But I had some like support stuff on the sides, and then that made like pockets for the snow to sit in, and then it would make the plastic sink in those spots, and then it was just impossible to ever get the snow to do anything but like make these, you know, big divots on the plastic. So part of moving the greenhouses was like fixing the design as well. And then I want to build permanent end walls for the for all 4 of those greenhouses. I want to have like permanent end walls that are already set up, because that was always a pain to go like in and out of the greenhouses when they're just like temporary and you just kind of have the plastic kind of like, you know, strapped down to the ground. It's no bueno, no good. But anyways, I should probably get harvesting, because this is all I got harvested so far. not a whole lot. But the flowers were like wet this morning from the dew and stuff, so I was waiting for the sun to come and dry them off, and now it's like pretty sunny out, and it's still chilly, but it's warm enough that like the flowers will be like drying up, so I can actually harvest them and do something with them. But I wanted to make a video. I tried to make a live video, but the live, I don't know why it's so hard for me to get it to work, but I can't get a live video to work on my phone. My phone has some problems. So I figured I would just film a video, but I want to thank you all for coming and checking it out. Next year, another plan will be that I have like more help. I'm gonna hire on like some high school kids or some like university age kids and try to stay on top of things more, especially in the spring, so that I have time to make videos, because videos are still really important. I actually am really excited because like the videos, what I've been like brainstorming about with the videos is I want to give the like my perspective on the farm of like harvesting and stuff, and I'm just like I've been trying to figure out how to do that. I've got like a GoPro somewhere, and so like I've been strapping it to my chest, and then like it's kind of like the view from your hands as your hands do things, right? And it looks immersive to me. It's kind of like a really good view. I'm also like trying to figure out like a point of view camera that can like fit on glasses, because then, you know, it's hard to get things in frame when it's like a, you know, stationary camera on your chest. But like when it's a camera that's attached to your eyes, then you're just, wherever you point your head, you know, the camera will follow, right? So I really want to, you know, because I was like, how do I replace all that harvest footage from the old videos where there was like two people, you know, like somebody to shoot and somebody to harvest, with just like me, because it's just me. And I don't want to be like tripods are good and tripods are important for like getting good shots, but it takes a while to be like moving tripods around and stuff. I really wanted a way to be able to get footage but not like slow me down a ton. So I'm on the case. I will figure it out. And for that I am excited. I know that like I had bigger plans for the YouTube this year, but just kind of like everything, there's only so much in me to go around. And the good news is that I made it and I'm feeling really excited about the future. So that's good, you know. Anyways, I do want to thank you for joining me all the way to the end of the video, and I will see you soon. I do have videos that I filmed that I haven't made yet, but I don't know what's going to be my season. My focus is getting stuff done. Later.